Cheers, guys. Epix 911, welcome to the Wednesday, October 4th, 2017 edition of VR News, otherwise known as that blessed day, Hump Day. The turning point for the weekend. Just a quick little ramble before we get into the news. First up, wanted to mention that the first episode of Virtual Reality A to Z is up. Really happy with how it turned out, and if you haven't had a chance, of course I'm going to do the plug. Check it out. Also, let me know what you would like to see. There were some comments. For example, one of the viewers, Scott, left a comment disappointed about stereoscopic not being part of it. And I had to draw the line somewhere, explain that to him, but not too late, because in the second episode, I can absolutely work that into the development of the Sensorama. So Scott, thank you. Likewise, if you've got ideas for future episodes, things you guys would like to see, let me know in the comments, either this video or on that video. And then the other thing I just wanted to touch on quick, BBoy, one of the regular viewers on this channel, who also has his own YouTube channel. I'm going to link it below. He's got a really good video dealing with the settings of Project Cars 2. And if you haven't seen his cockpit, I know there's a few other racing fans that watch this channel. Check out his rig. It's freaking fantastic. But yeah, he's got a TI, basically a dream system. So you got to push the envy aside and just watch for the settings. He does get into what us mere mortals can do other than high and ultra, etc. So give that a look as well. With that said, guys, let's dive into our first story. Rift exclusive From Other Suns gets a release date. Now, yes, we could get into the whole discussion about exclusivity. Mostly that we don't like it, but this looks to be a really, really good game from Gunfire Games. It's a procedural sci-fi multiplayer game. We've looked at the trailer and some gameplay footage quite a few times on this channel. Well, it launches November 14th, $39.99 US on the Oculus Store. If you pre-order it, you get $5 US off, i.e. $34.99 US. Next up, quite a few announcements from Google today. Chief among them, new hardware in the form of phones, but more importantly for us, a new Google Daydream View with some changes. First up, the new model, the obvious, it's going to be compatible with the upcoming Pixel 2 and Pixel 2 XL, both of which were announced today. But its greatest strength in the mobile arena is how many phones it's compatible with. That count, as of this new model, rising to 15, which is pretty damn good. It's also focusing on comfort. They've adopted a top strap design similar to the Gear VR. Other areas providing additional comfort, the interior, you can see that, has larger and softer foam. And I gotta say, of all the headsets I've seen, whether they're mobile or not, this absolutely looks to be the most comfortable face-wise. The controller now stored in a loop in the strap behind your head. They've also addressed the overheating issue with some lateral thinking. Now, not the traditional sense of how to use a heatsink. You usually want to do that on the interior of a case, for example. They're applying it to the exterior, but still a little bit of, conventional lateral thinking. Probably going to do some good. They say it does, so it'll be interesting to see tests how much it controls the heat, but supposedly it does. Also, thanks to a new custom Fresnel lens design, there is an additional 10 degrees in the field of view, again, putting it closer to what the Gear VR offers. The bad news is that all of that upgrade comes at the cost of an additional $20 US. So it's going to retail for $100 US now, instead of the old price of $80. Now, where it blows the Gear away, and I mentioned this right from the outset, of course, is in terms of phone choices, with the Daydream View supporting 15 different phones. Next up, Nvidia's annual GTC Europe event for 2017 will be in Munich, October 10th, 11th, and 12th. They're going to make VR a focus. Nvidia hosting several virtual reality exhibits. They're hosting a VR village at the show, VR labels, and hands-on training sessions for developers. The event is also going to feature Nvidia's Project Holodeck demo. If you haven't seen this out, I probably got it playing right now. If you haven't seen it before, out at an event or otherwise, pretty darn cool. The idea here is to do amazingly complex graphics in real time, such as the way this car, high performance car I might add, was rendered in real time in a collaborative VR space. Very cool. And looking at this, it's hard to believe that car companies aren't going to start adopting this type of technology. Inserting this is going to make so much sense for their workflow. The results, I mean, they're stunning, and they're probably going to require a little bit more resolution, but even now I could see uses for this in their workflow. Other VR exhibits include Nvidia's 360-degree stitching SDK, VRWorks Audio SDK, and Isaac, a unique combination of virtual reality and AI. Right now, the only thing you can do with Isaac is play dominoes. Next up, I've got some screenshots. Bethesda and id releasing 6 new screenshots for Doom VFR. And I know that's a bit of a controversial title, so I'm going to riff a little bit editorial style while we take a look at some of these pictures. Actually, we'll look at them all. We'll start with the obvious. While I don't get motion sickness in virtual reality and I generally prefer smooth locomotion, I am okay with teleportation in games under the right context. If there is a design decision for it and it's that integral to the game, I'm okay with it. For example, I don't mind it in raw data. Even though the game has smooth locomotion now, the last few times I've played it just out of habit, I went with the teleportation. That's just how I got used to playing it, and probably will continue to play it. Well, Doom VFR releasing soon, and unfortunately, it's going to do that with a lot of expected controversy because it's already getting it due to that very same teleportation. That is the only form of locomotion available. Like I said from the outset, I am okay with that. I'm going to play the game because I'm a sucker for Doom, period. Even though this is probably the first Doom with no input from the original programmers anywhere in the title, I'm not kidding myself or anyone else. I will be playing this game. I might wait for the price to drop a little bit, but I definitely will play it. Sure, it would have been nice for them to include smooth locomotion alongside of this. And you know what? It's not too late. Who knows? Maybe someone in the community or Bethesda themselves are going to add it at a later date. We can only hope. For now, just happy to be playing another Doom game inside VR. Doom BFG was amazing, and it wasn't even official. It was one of the best FPS VR experiences I've had to date. And don't think I don't note the irony here, in the sense that Doom BFG was community made and yet supported smooth locomotion. I do. That doesn't escape me at all, believe me. My take on it is this. Look, if you are completely against this type of gameplay, like if this is not a game you enjoy ever, whether you dislike teleportation or love it or have to use it because of motion sickness, it's a moot point. You're not going to buy the game anyways. But if you are somebody who loves this type of game, but you're one of the hardcore, I hate teleportation. If it has teleportation, I won't play it. Fair enough. That's your right. Absolutely. But maybe wait and try out a demo at least. If you've got a buddy who's got the game, give it a shot. Just see if there's anything in there, even with teleportation, that's going to be redeeming for you enough to maybe consider picking it up when it's on sale, discounted, whatever. I'm not saying you can't be critical or you shouldn't be critical. In fact, I'm one of the biggest advocates for having 2 forms of locomotion. I've said it from day one. Have both. Cater to the motion sickness, but let those of us who want smooth locomotion enjoy that as well. And I think the best way to do that is simply to include both. And you can still do that while you can still show your support and purchase a game and make the statement, you know what, it's worth investing in VR. Because it is. It's freaking awesome. All right, guys, that is it for the Hump Day episode. Hope you guys are having a great week. It's almost over. Hang in there a couple more days, and it shall be Gaming Friday, guys. As always, cheers.